Hello, everyone. My name is Alvarez. I'm going to present who are the leaders of our government. This is a multimedia presentation for our political science 213 class, American Politics. So, to give you a little bit of background on the presentation, I'm going to be talking about the House of Representatives, who are its leaders, the Senate, who are its leaders. Then I'm going to shift down a little bit. I'm going to talk about who specifically are my senators, my members of Congress, the government of my state, going down to the county and the city levels. So, to start off, we're going to talk about the House of Representatives. Currently, the Speaker of the House is Mr. Paul Ryan. He is a Republican from Wisconsin. Maybe a lot of us do know this, but Paul Ryan actually ran for vice president along with Mitt Romney in the 2012 presidential election. Another fact is that in 2016, Donald Trump got elected president, and along with him being elected the presidency, the House of Representatives and the Senate were taking a majority of Republicans. Therefore, the majority leader of the House of Representatives is Mr. Kevin McCarthy, which is a Republican from California. Now, his successor is Mr. Steve Scalise, a Republican, of course, from Louisiana. His term pretty much is a majority whip. He's the successor of the majority leader. Now, shifting focus to the minority leader, and the minority being Democrats, Mrs. Nancy Pelosi. She's a Democrat from California, and she was born in San Francisco. Now, her successor, the minority whip, of the House of Representatives is Mr. Steny Hoyer, and he is a Democrat from Maryland. Now, our pretty much our Congress is made up of two branches, I guess you could say. One of them being the House of Representatives, and the other being the Senate. So the Senate is comprised of pretty much six major leaders. The first one is the Vice President of the United States of America. Currently, it's Mr. Mike Pence, and he is a Republican from Indiana. Now, the President pro tempore is Mr. Orrin Hatch, which is also a Republican from Utah. Now, just like the House of Representatives, the Senate has a majority of Republicans. So the majority leader is Mr. Mitch McConnell. He's a Republican from Kentucky. He's a name that's very, you hear it a lot in the news lately, Mitch McConnell. Now, his successor is the majority whip of the Senate is Mr. John Conran, and he is also a Republican from Texas. Now, the minority of the Senate is the Democrats. So the minority leader is Mr. Charles E. Schumer. He's a Democrat from New York, and he was born in Brooklyn, I believe. And his successor, the minority whip of the Senate, is Mr. Richard Durbin, and he is also a Democrat, except he's from Illinois. Now, in the Senate and the House of Representatives, there are specific representatives in each that represent where you are in the country. Specifically, the Senate will have one or two for every state. So, shifting focus to the federal senators of California. So, since 1992, Miss Dianne Feinstein, she's a Democrat from California. She was voted in as one of the senators of California. So she's been in office since 1992. Recently, in 2016, in this past election, Miss Kamala Harris was voted into the Senate, and she is a Democrat from California. Now, kind of shifting focus from the Senate and going back to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has a member of Congress, and that member of Congress is elected through the congressional district. In my specific district, I live in the 31st Congressional District, which comprises Redlands and cities in that same vicinity. I personally live in Redlands. So my member of Congress is Mr. Pete Aguilar. He's a Democrat from California. Kind of a cool story behind that is that Pete Aguilar was actually the mayor of Redlands before he got elected into Congress in the 31st Congressional District. So it's really cool that I got to see him kind of go up through the ranks and see where he is today. Now, kind of going down from the federal government into state government, The governor of California is Mr. Jerry Brown. I'm sure a lot of you has heard his name. He's a Democrat from California, and he was the governor after Arnold Schwarzenegger. So then, in just like kind of in the national federal side of things, there's a district from states, etc. So just like in California, we have Senate districts, just like in the federal side of things. So I live in the 23rd Senate District of California, and my representative is Mr. Mike Morrill, and he's a Republican from California. And just like that, again, in the state we have the state assembly, and I live in the 40th Assembly District, and my representative is Mr. Mark Steinworth, and he is also a Republican from California. Now, these kind of summarize the people that represent me in state and also the House of Representatives through Congress. Pete and Jerry, people like that, they represent me. Now, kind of going closer to home, we're going to shift focus to the County Board of Supervisors. So I live in San Bernardino County, which comprises of places such as Redlands, Yucaipa, and it goes all the way to the edge of Nevada. So when you're driving to Las Vegas, it says now leaving San Bernardino County. So it's a really big county. So it's comprised of 5 districts. The chairman and also the leader of the first district is Mr. Robert A. Lovingood. The second district leader is Miss Janice Rutherford. The third district leader is Mr. James Ramos. And the fourth is Mr. Kurt Hagman. Sorry, he's the leader of the 4th district. And the last picture you see here is Miss Josie Gonzalez, and this was actually the picture of her taking the oath into office to lead the 5th district of the San Bernardino County. So like I said, I keep mentioning Redlands a lot, and Redlands is actually part of the San Bernardino County. So I want to kind of shift focus to the City Council of Redlands. So the whole motto behind the City of Redlands is a city that works. And I believe these 5 representatives are doing a pretty good job, being that I live in Redlands right now. So the mayor of Redlands is Mr. Paul W. Foster. Paul W. Foster used to be on the city council when Pete Aguilar was the mayor of Redlands. Then he got voted in later on, and now he's the mayor. So the next person on the presentation is the Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Paul Barrage. Paul was born on Norton Air Force Base in San Bernardino, kind of borderline with Redlands. He attended Redlands High School, and he graduated from the University of California, LA, UCLA. So after them two, after those 2 council members, there's the 3rd council member, which is John Harrison. He is born in Redlands. And the 4th is Miss Toni Momberger. She's also a council member. And the last is Mr. Eddie Tejeda. Cool thing with Eddie Tejeda is that we actually live in the same vicinity. Like, he lives a street away from me. So it was kind of cool to see, like, oh, that's kind of my neighbor. So it was really cool to see that. So that summarizes the city council. And that actually ends my presentation. I talked a little bit about, the House of Representatives, the Senate, the State Assembly, the State Senate, who represents me in Senate, who represents me in the House, who are my leaders in the city. So yeah, I hope that summarized it for you guys, kind of gave you guys an idea of where I am on the map. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and yeah, hope you guys have a good Christmas break and a good end to the semester. Thank you guys.